one thing that I have been trying to do is that using different backgrounds, because even for me, like when I first got my black belt, I'm a totally different guy right now. Because when I first got my black belt, I was like only on the Jiu Jitsu background. So I pretty much used to do what all the Jiu Jitsu guys do, or most of them do, right? I don't like to generalize. I used to like have like a killer guard, put to the guard, go to the back, and then sometimes like get myself on points, and you are 18 points ahead. Okay, I'm just gonna stay here, rest up, and But once I make the transition to MMA, I was having a hard time in the beginning because like you cannot pull guard anymore, right? So
not a good idea.
Like, you're gonna get strike. So and then the other thing is like a finishing rate. So if you eventually pull guard and you get to the back and you're not able to finish the rounds, then you get a killer strike, you get knocked out, And then so what happened is like when I did my move to MMA, I start to work on the finishing rate. I start to work like a finish sub, and then that's one point that MMA actually helped my jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So because
right.
I gotta be able to finish you guys, not just get to their back,
right.
just get to the mount, because the round's gonna finish, and you gotta be able to do it fast, because sometimes until you get to the ground it's 3 minutes.
Right.
Right. So then you have 3 minutes, so you gotta be fast, and then to get to the ground you gotta work on your wrestling. So I think like this MMA compounds like help me. And then help me to teach my students, because now I try to tell the guys that like I don't want to be the average guy who goes there and then they are ahead on points, and then just stay there. For example, there was a competition that were there in Vegas last year, and then I was just watching a match before my students' match, and then I saw the coach. There was 0-0, like one just random match, I don't even remember, but 0-0, and then I think I don't even think there was like advantage score, and then it was like 10 seconds to the end, and the coach said, okay, stay there, you're on top, the ref gonna give it to you. So it's like in my mind I was like, man, I had to like die trying or die and lose, right. At least make activity, or like or leave to the refs, and then maybe it don't go your way,
Right.
Then why I didn't try. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be that guy. So I want to teach my students to, like always work, for the finish, even if you are ahead on the score.
Right.
Because now with the explosion of no-gi, ADCC, all this stuff, like there's fight to wins or who is number one, like there's a lot of, there's no point anymore. So you gotta work to finish.
Right,
so
right.
we're trying to cover the gaps and and not work only on the point system. I think Jiu-Jitsu is everything. It's like tap planet system. It's like ADCC. All those rules, you gotta know everything, and then you adapt to each competition. So that's what I'm trying to give back to my students.
I would say your students do have good fishing mechanics. When they get to dominant positions, they're not just camping out, they're going for the kill. They're trying to tap me. Every round I had today, it was like they were going for it, and there was a lot of defense. So you can tell your philosophy is definitely carrying on into that.
Thank you.
Do you think that, as far as the competitions, is hurting the art of Jiu-Jitsu? Or is it something that is just a progression, kind of like how Judo added rules to make it, either more sport-friendly or whatever?
Is a tricky question, because yes, like as if in Jiu-Jitsu, if you get to the rules, how it started, everybody says self-defense. So self-defense gotta be effective, right? So like you cannot on the streets, doesn't matter. Like I'm not saying I'm against pulling guard, because I used to pull guard myself. But even if you go to the ground, you gotta be able to protect, submit, right? So it doesn't matter where the fight goes, you gotta be able to finish. That's my point. There's no points on the streets, right? But at the same time, I understand that the more the sports, any sport grows, you have to put rules, right? Same thing as MMA. If you let it brutal as it was, like no time limit, no rule set and everything, no one is gonna buy. So if you're trying to sell a product, then it's different. But I feel that you gotta put rules, but at the same time you gotta be able to modify the rules according to what the changes that the competitors are doing. So what happens is that they put a rule set, and then people are smart. They start to fight with the rules book underneath their armpit, right? So they start to strategize to, I'm gonna last minute I'm gonna score this point, so I'm gonna win. So then you gotta find out. It's easier said than done, but you gotta find out a way to control that. So as the sport develop, the rules gonna develop too, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you can still sell it, but you do like a shortcut. So maybe the problem is like the convenience, right? The rule has been there for so long. It's based on progression so long. Why are you gonna change it now? And then you do like a short change, and you put like 30 seconds on the clock, you know, to do advantage. So maybe take the advantage out. Maybe do points for positions instead transitions, because not everything is a guard pass. You gotta come from a guard, but then you start to get confused. And then it's like ref decision. So you know, like a lot of stuff. I can go on and on and on here, but I think maybe a good thing is to do like adapt the rules according to how the competitors are doing, and you cannot be scared of that. And if that doesn't change, then do it again and do it again. You know, then people gonna buy it. Right, we go to the television or whatever it is, but doesn't kill the sport as well. If that makes sense.
It does. It does. It's still evolving. It's still young, and we got to figure everything out. Very good. Do you see a lot of similarities? You went to Asia. You said about 10 years ago now. Jiu Jitsu was young there. It wasn't developed. There weren't a lot of competitions. You're talking about Hawaii, not a lot of competitions. Do you see a lot of similarities between training people there and training here?
Definitely, because like in Singapore was like that. When I got there, like 10 years ago, there was a bunch of white belts, a couple of blue belts, and that's about it, you know. So you had to build the team, and you know, there was one another competition, and when the competition is starting, it's a challenge for the organizers too. Right, we go there, this thing is so unorganized, we stay here all day, you're supposed to fight 10 a.m., we fight 10 p.m., you know. So all this stuff, and that's the beginning for everybody, right? That's the beginning, right? So you cannot just, I'm not gonna compete anymore because this is BS, right? You just keep showing up and help the sport to develop. And then that's one thing that happened there. Like, you know, when I left Singapore, there was a lot of guys that were black belts already. When I went there, they were like white and blue. Competitions all over the place. I think Singapore, they have their own, they were doing, not because of the pandemic, but they were working on doing their own ADCC tryouts, you know, for the Southeast Asia and everything. So it definitely is growing, right? A lot of gyms and everything. And the thing is with Singapore, which is similar to here, is because it's island, so it's hard to keep flying out to compete. So it's kind of hard to keep with the one thing that I say, like with the IBJJF ranking system. I think it's good, it's great. I don't think everybody should sign up for the worlds. It's the world championship. You're gonna sign in like, I go for the worlds. No, you gotta be ranked to go there. But for some of guys, it's pretty hard. So how like the Singapore gonna go if they don't have IBJJF competition? How are we gonna go? Like we cannot go. I already messaged them and say like, when you guys gonna do competition here? Because like I cannot fly. I have a school here. I cannot fly every weekend to the mainland. To see if I'm gonna get in the podium. If I'm not, I gotta keep going. There's no way. So how the people here score? And man, 1,000 people over Nagas means we have a jiu-jitsu background. There's a lot of schools here, and everybody gonna benefit from that. So it's kind of hard. Another thing that is similar too is because in Singapore people used to go to with contract work, right? So they go there, work for 2 years, and they leave. So that's a challenge for us, like gym owners, because you know, you go there, you build a guy to blue, purple belt, when they get really good, and then I gotta go work. And it's like kind of sad to see them leave, you know? Not because they want to leave, but because of work. And here, the same thing, you get a lot of military. Guy come and goes, and then when you have like a gym full of color belt, they leave. Then back to a lot of white belts, and starting all over again. I think that's the challenge, but the main thing is like the jiu-jitsu lifestyle, and try to impact as many people as we can, you know, through jiu-jitsu. So I had a lot of students that left to the mainland, and then they still train over there. So you know, I'm happy for them that you know, they started with me, and then they're still doing that.
You laid a really strong foundation for them. They're always gonna remember you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like that's the main thing I feel.